Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? This is Will of Will's Wellness, the body mechanic, and I am here today at the repair shop. Now, let me tell you something. This conversation today is going to be a little different, man. It's going to be about mental health. We really going to dive deep into mental health and what mental health does to people. See, and in today's society, what we realize is that mental health is very important. And so with mental health being very important, with mental health really taking out a lot of people in ways that they don't even understand. But we got a couple key components that are geared toward the mental health scene that have really destructed people. And, we're not going to talk about the suicide thing today now. What we're going to talk about is the bipolar and the ADHD. I see a lot of people, they're fighting these things. And one of my main things that I think of, and one of the main things that I do is I really focus on battling my mind. See, when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with ADHD. Then I got diagnosed with bipolar. I was on medication and I was on things like that growing up, and in and out of the hospital and stuff like that. So when it comes to understanding these diagnoses, I do. But I also understand how strong the mind is and what you can conquer if you allow it to. You don't fall victim into what the world sees. See, no, what you do is you find ways to cope. You find ways to manage. You find ways to defeat your own mind. See, I dealt with bipolar. I think my last bipolar episode was maybe when I was like a teenager. Like I was a teenager. I'm 32 now. And so I found different mechanisms that work in terms of, going to the gym, having different outlets, learning how to compartmentalize emotions. Like I've learned how to channel emotions and use these emotions in different activities throughout the day. Like the gym, oh man, that's where you see like the anger, the aggression, or even if I need to tap into the highest element form that we have, and that's love. See, you could be angry and stuff like that, but if you really want to really dive deep into your strength, what you really want to do is you want to dive into that love. See, because what love does, man, love is strong, man. It's the strongest force that we have. And so I want to really talk to you about these things like bipolar and ADHD. Like, yes, you may have it, but why are you carrying it without knowing how to handle it? Don't fall victim. See, first thing you want to do, I'm going to always go to this. This is my first step to everything. If you listen to my podcast, you listen to my informational, you listen to anything that I do, my motivational speaks. Look, pray. Pray. Always pray. Go to God. You know what I'm saying? Talk to God. Talk to him. Hey, what's going on, Lord? Help guide me. What's going on, man? Right now, my thoughts are scattered. I'm dealing with different emotions. I don't understand what's going on. Help me, please. Help me learn how to handle these things. Like my first thing, like me, I'm a comic book head. So I go to the X-Men, Jean Grey. Jean Grey didn't know how to control the Phoenix. So sometimes she would get lost in her power and not know how to control it because it was so much. It was a big force. And with it being a big force, and which bipolar can be a very big force. But once you realize what it is, you can learn different things that work for you. And when you learn these certain things that work for you, you can treat it like you're the cowboy, and that's whatever you're trying to herd, and you throw that lasso around it. And when you throw that lasso around it, you manage it, you guide it, you control it. It's like, oh, okay, now not only that, how are you tired of losing relationships? Are you tired of damaging people that you love? Are you tired? Like a lot of it has to do with being tired as well. Like once I woke up and really found the Lord and found things that meant something to me other than myself, and I stopped being selfish, and I stopped wanting to lose relationships, and I stopped wanting people to understand me and accept me for who I was, and I wanted to change as an individual, then I started really taking the steps to go ahead and learn how to deal, handle, manage, and conquer who I was, so I could become this new person that has not had an episode in 20 plus years. So when you deal with these things, you become this new person when you're willing to grow, when you're willing to learn, when you're willing to submit yourself to the Lord and stop letting your mind control who is in charge. Like when I'm in the gym and I'm beat down and I'm tired, I'm on my last reps, like I'm like, bruh, but I'm like, nah, we gotta go, we gotta finish, we gotta conquer, let's do it. So when I'm in there, one thing I say is, Will, you are the captain of this ship. We're not done until the job is done. Get it done. And I control who I am. I control who I spaz out on. I control who I treat the ways that don't deserve to be treated. See, I control that. But since I understood that and I stopped letting the world put diagnoses on me and start saying, oh, nah, you got this, and I fell victim into that realm, that's what happens. A lot of us find we fall victim into the realm of the diagnosis and say, oh, it's mine, I have this. No, you're accepting this because you don't want to take the steps to conquer it. Stop accepting stuff that doesn't belong to you. You want to take candy from a stranger in a white van with no windows. Because I know you wouldn't, because I know you're teaching your children, hey, don't take candy from a stranger, and if you see a van with no windows, don't go near it. You're teaching your children that thing. So why are you accepting the diagnosis that has a solution to conquer it when come on, what's going on? Don't do that. So what I will always say is, no, you are the captain of your ship. You don't have to fall victim. And I'm telling you this not because this is something that I read in a journal. No, this is something that I experienced. This is something that I do. This is something that I'm conquering even now. I look at people. I've learned to just conquer who I was, and I became the captain of my ship. And with the help of the Lord guided me putting on the armor of the Lord, me understanding and believing in myself, and me falling and leaning into who the Lord designed me to be. And I took those negative energies, I took those negative stigmas, I took those negative things that people said about me, and I turned them into a positive. Why? Because I'm the captain of this ship, and God has put me in control of this. So I'm going to beat it. I'm not going to let it stop. I'm not going to keep ruining relationships because of something that somebody told me, like, oh, I have this, I have that. No, what it is you haven't took the time to really examine yourself and deal with some of your childhood traumas, some of your triggers. So when it's time for you to get triggered, you know how to, oh, boom, fast cope, boom, 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 boom. So you have to learn how to cope with your triggers. Everybody has a childhood trauma. Majority of the people that I know have had childhoods that were disruptive to their futures. Majority of the people that I know have childhoods that have been disruptive to their futures. So the thing is this: if you've been through that, you have to forgive. See, what I'm doing, if you're keeping up, is I'm giving you steps to purpose. I'm giving you steps to finding out how to figure yourself out so you can conquer not just today, but the rest of your life. See, these are the things that I'm doing. So if you really, 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 really want to change, you will. You don't have to keep falling victim. You don't have to keep doing that. No. You don't have to keep falling into the slave of the old you. No, forgive yourself, learn yourself, believe that you are the one that is in charge. And when you do that, what'll happen is, in turn, See, you'll stop ruining relationships. You'll stop pushing people away. You'll start forgiving yourself, going back to your childhood traumas, learning your triggers, learning that, hey, first of all, the parents, the people that whoever did you wrong, one, they're learning. They have problems, but they're learning because they didn't ask to be here and neither did you. But guess what? We all have a purpose, so we're here. Mine just happened to be able to speak life into you and help you walk through some of these things that you're going through. And so the fact that I figured that out, blessing. So, but I also want to let you know, like, look, take that time, figure it out, what's going on. And then when you do that, when you take that time to learn yourself, you start doing internal work. You start taking the chisel, you start taking the hammer, you start taking the scalpel, you start, and then you start becoming and developing and tearing down those trigger traumas. You start tearing those down, so then when somebody hits you with and because sometimes it may be on purpose because you showed your hand and now they know your triggers and they just want to have a big wild up moment and watch you go off the deep end. So now you're giving them that power, but then when you work on those trigger traumas and you don't, boom, you're like, oh, I'm not affected by that. I'm good. What's next? No, I dealt with that. We're fine. You know what I'm saying? My mom leaving me at a basketball game, no longer bothers me. My parents leaving me, my mom giving me up for adoption no longer bothers me. My adopted mom not giving me the unconditional love that I expected her to give me as a mother, but now that I'm grown and realize that it was not her responsibility to give me something that she did not biologically get put on this earth to give. See, unrealistic expectations. See, you have to break down some of the things that you've been through and really dissect what it is. And sometimes you'll realize that the thought process that you had and the expectation that you had on the trigger was not even it was a false reality. And then when you realize that it's a false reality, you'll actually come into a different sense of understanding. And when you have that sense of understanding, what you'll do with that sense of understanding is heal. You'll heal. And I'm telling you this from experience, because some of these things that I just said, majority of the stuff that I just told you was 100% my reality. I had to forgive some people. And then I had to forgive myself for allowing myself to, one, not to know the truth because I was too naive at the time to even want to understand, hear, learn, or believe the truth. But now that I'm older, now that I'm more mature, and now that I really see a situation for what it is, it's like, okay, cool, now. So it was my fault. I was tripping, and that's okay. And so with that being okay, with me doing that, I learned. So what I want you to gather from this, one, is I want you to go into your childhood trauma bag. I want you to go into your trauma bag. I want you to find your triggers. And when you find your triggers, I want you to write out 5 things that you think that would help you combat these triggers in an instant moment. Write down these 5 things and take these things and really do that. And then I want you to start practicing it. I want you to start putting it in rotation. I want you to start doing something with it, okay? I want you to start that. And when you do that, then that's when you can start your healing process. And then that's when you can start. And these are the steps for bipolar and dealing with this. Because a lot of the stuff that trigger bipolar manic episodes are because you haven't dealt with certain triggers. And when these triggers pop up, your brain chemistry elevates to an unhealthy level, which pushes you towards the deep end. So I'm telling you this because I want you to understand that, hey, you can heal. Find these triggers and learn how to cope, manage, deal. Think. 5 steps, 5 things that can help you do this, okay? All right? See, I'm here to help, not hurt. I'm here to help, not hurt. So when you do these steps, you can come back for another video. You can even hit my line. You can contact me. You can hit my Facebook, Will's Wellness, Will Baker, LMT. You can hit my Instagram, Will Baker. And it's a blue background with a bodybuilding picture like this because I'm him. And so then let's continue a conversation and continue your healing. All right. So I'm gonna end this out because when you see the overalls, that means it's time to get motivated because purpose is overall. Hey, and when there's a will, there's a way.